Have you ever seen a man who looks poor, but carries the air of someone who has conquered the world? That man was Liam. Every morning, people walked past him without noticing. A homeless man sat near a small cafe. His jacket was torn. Shoes were old and dirty. A beanie covered most of his unkempt, dark hair, and his beard was long, slightly tangled. He looked like just another man who lost his way. But there was something different about him. Even under the rags, his posture was strong. Muscular arms peeked from the sleeves of his worn jacket. Broad shoulders and a tall frame gave him a presence most people didn't notice. What no one knew was that when night fell, Liam disappeared. He didn't sleep on the streets. He didn't beg for money. He returned to a mansion outside the city. Tall gates, marble floors that gleamed under the lights, huge windows showing the stars, all belonged to him. Because Liam was not really poor. He had once owned businesses, cars, and properties. People had called him Sir everywhere he went. But after his parents died, he lost interest in the world of wealth and status. Fake smiles, fake friends, women who loved money more than the person. He decided that no matter how rich he was, he wanted something real. I'll live as a poor man, he told himself one day, until I find someone who loves me for me, not for my money. And so began his double life. Every day, he sat under the window of that small cafe, quietly observing the world. The only person who noticed him was a young waitress named Olivia. She had soft brown hair tied in a messy bun and warm hazel eyes that shone even when she was tired. She wore a simple apron over her casual clothes. Every day, without fail, she would bring him food. "Hey, you haven't eaten today, have you?" she'd ask, placing a paper bag in front of him. Inside, sandwiches, sometimes soup, and a coffee. "Thank you, miss," he said each time, careful not to smile too much. "You're too kind." He wanted to tell her who he really was, but he didn't. He just watched, quietly, appreciating her kindness without expectation. One sunny afternoon, he saw her laughing at her phone. "That's my fiancée," she told a coworker. "We're getting married next month." Liam felt a pang in his chest. He barely knew her, yet something stirred inside. He pushed the feeling away. She deserved happiness. But why did it hurt a little? A few days later, something changed everything. Liam was sitting on the bench, as usual, when a black car pulled up near the cafe. A man stepped out, tall, confident, dressed in a sharp suit. Liam recognized him immediately. It was Daniel, Olivia's fiancé. But Daniel wasn't alone. A woman with striking red lipstick and a designer dress sat in the passenger seat. She laughed, leaning toward Daniel, holding his hand. Olivia walked out carrying a lunchbox. When she saw them, her smile froze. "Daniel?" she whispered. He glanced at her, rolling his eyes, then smirked at the woman beside him. "No offense," the woman said loudly. "I'm the one he really wants." Olivia's face fell. Her voice trembled. I don't understand." Daniel shrugged. "Sweetheart, you've been a waitress for years. I need someone who fits my world." He got into the car. The engine roared. They drove away. Liam's chest tightened. He couldn't just sit there. He stood and walked toward her. She was wiping tears. He handed her a napkin. "You didn't deserve that," he said quietly. She looked at him properly for the first time. Hazelnut eyes red from crying, soft and fragile. "Why are people so cruel?" she whispered. He didn't answer. He just sat next to her on the bench. Silence fell between them, filled only by the traffic sounds of the city. Then she spoke again, half laughing, half crying. "We were supposed to get married next week. My mom, she already paid for everything. Flowers, venue, catering." Liam looked at her. Something inside moved. "What if," he said slowly, "what if your mom doesn't have to be upset?" She frowned. "I don't understand." He smiled gently. "What if you still got married, just not to him?" Her eyes widened. "You mean me and you?" "Maybe. Or maybe I'm joking." "You? Marry you?" she said, laughter and tears mixing. "You don't even have a home." He shrugged. "True. But I have a kind heart. Sometimes that's enough." She stared at him, then laughed softly. The first time that day, she smiled. "You're crazy," she said. "Maybe," he replied. "But maybe crazy is exactly what you need right now." The next morning, she came with 2 coffees. He was waiting. "About your offer," she said nervously. He raised an eyebrow. "If we pretend to be married," she said, "maybe my mom won't be so sad." Liam smiled warmly. "Then it's a deal. I'll be your husband. Just for now." She rolled her eyes. Better shave before I introduce you to her. That evening, she led him to her apartment. Cozy, warm, smelling of coffee and fresh bread. Go shower, she said, handing him a towel. Minutes later, he emerged, clean-shaven, towel around his waist, muscular torso visible. Olivia's jaw dropped. He smirked. Do I pass the test, Mrs. Future Bride? She blushed. Don't call me that. He laughed. She laughed. For the first time in a long while, both felt something light and real. Outside, city lights flickered. Two strangers, one pretending, one quietly healing. Neither knew this fake marriage was about to change everything. The next morning felt different. Liam woke up on Olivia's couch. It was small, a little stiff, but somehow comfortable. From the kitchen came the soft clinking of cups and a gentle hum. Olivia was making coffee. She wore a plain t-shirt and pajama pants, hair in a messy bun. Even in this simple outfit, she looked beautiful. Liam watched quietly, leaning back on the couch. Morning, she said, noticing him. Morning, he replied with a small smile. She handed him a cup. We have a big day today. We're going to register our marriage officially. He almost choked on the coffee. You're serious? She shrugged, smiling nervously. I told my mom we're getting married. She cried for an hour. I can't disappoint her now. Liam nodded. Then let's make her happy. Later, outside the registry office, they waited in the bright morning sun. Olivia wore a simple white dress, light and casual. Liam had borrowed an old shirt from her neighbor, worn but clean. The clerk smiled as they approached. Are you ready to be husband and wife? She asked. Olivia glanced at Liam, unsure. We're really doing this, right? He grinned. You started it. She laughed quietly. Yeah, I did. The papers were signed. Just like that, fake marriage, but legal. Olivia's mother was waiting outside when they returned home. Sweetheart, she cried, pulling Olivia into a tight hug. Then she looked at Liam. And you must be the brave man who stole my daughter's heart. Liam bowed slightly. I'm honored, ma'am. Oh my, you're so tall. And those eyes. You're perfect. Olivia rolled her eyes. Mom, calm down. Her mother wiped tears. We'll have a small dinner tonight. Just family and close friends. Liam, do you have a suit? Liam froze. Suit? Of course. You can't come looking like that, her mom said, nodding at his borrowed shirt. Olivia laughed nervously. We'll figure it out. That evening, Liam stood in her apartment, holding a slightly old jacket. Your mom is enthusiastic, he said. She's just excited, Olivia replied. She thinks I found someone nice. Well, he said, sipping tea, she's not entirely wrong. Olivia raised an eyebrow. You enjoy pretending to be my husband, don't you? He smirked. Maybe I'm a good actor. She folded her arms. Or maybe you like me. He raised one eyebrow. And if I do? She froze, then laughed softly. Then you're in trouble, Mr. Fake Husband. They prepared for dinner together. Liam tried on the neighbor's jacket. Olivia tilted her head. You look surprisingly good. Kind of, he teased. Okay, fine. You look amazing. Happy? Very, he said, grinning. Dinner began. Olivia's mother didn't stop talking. So Liam, what do you do for a living? He hesitated, then smiled politely. I help people. Olivia almost choked on her drink. Help people. Mostly outside cafes, he said confidently. Her mother clapped her hands. Oh, social work. That's wonderful. Olivia hid her smile behind her glass. The evening went smoothly. Laughter, music, and food filled the small apartment. For the first time in months, Liam felt part of a real family. After everyone left, Olivia led him back to the living room. Thanks for tonight, she said. You made Mom so happy. I'm glad, he replied. And you? She smiled softly. I'm happy too. Days passed. Their fake marriage became routine. Breakfast together, lunch breaks at the cafe, small dinners. Liam helped fix broken lamps, leaky faucets, and even cooked a few meals. You cook? Olivia asked one evening, surprised. I had to learn, he said with a grin. No one likes a hungry millionaire. You mean, hungry man, she corrected. Right, he said quickly. That's what I meant. One evening, they sat on her small balcony, watching city lights. Do you ever regret this? She asked. No, he said simply. Not for a second. You don't even know me fully, she said. Maybe that's the best part. I get to discover you slowly. Her heart raced. Careful, she smiled. You're starting to sound like a real husband. Maybe I'm practicing, he said. Liam left for the mansion that night. A message from his assistant waited. "Sir, the board meeting is tomorrow. Online or in person?" He typed, "Online. Keep it quiet." He looked out the window at Olivia sleeping peacefully and whispered, "She's not ready to know yet." A few days later, Olivia ran home excitedly. "My mom wants us to attend a friend's engagement party this weekend." He chuckled. "Another pretend event?" "Yes," she said, "but it'll be fun. Don't say anything weird." Little did she know, at that party, they would run into her ex-fiancé again, and things would get interesting. Saturday evening came fast. Olivia spent half the day deciding what to wear. A simple, elegant dress, soft beige, flowing to her knees. She wanted to look nice, especially next to Liam. He, on the other hand, wore a plain black shirt and jeans. Nothing flashy. He said he wanted a normal day. "Wear anything," he told her. "You look good in everything." She rolled her eyes. "You really have to stop saying that." "Why?" "It's true," he replied with a faint smile. They arrived at the hotel where the engagement party was held. Bright lights, soft music, laughter, and fancy dresses surrounded them. Olivia held Liam's arm nervously. "Maybe we shouldn't have come," she whispered. "These people, they're not my crowd." "You belong anywhere," he said softly. She turned, blushing, pretending to fix her hair. As they walked toward the buffet table, Olivia froze. Across the room stood Daniel, her ex-fiancé, still polished and arrogant. Beside him, the same woman from the car, now wearing a gold evening gown and expensive jewelry, her red lips sharper than before. "Oh," Olivia muttered. Liam noticed her expression. "That's him, isn't it?" She nodded slowly. "Yeah." Daniel saw them. His jaw tightened. Then he forced a confident smile. "Well, look who it is," he said loudly. "If it isn't my little waitress." Olivia's stomach twisted. "Don't start, Daniel." "And who's this?" he added, glancing at Liam. "You're a new project?" Liam smiled calmly. "Husband, actually." Daniel laughed. "Husband? Seriously?" "Yes," Olivia said firmly. "We're married." Daniel's laughter froze for half a second. "You married the guy from under the cafe window?" "Oh, Olivia, that's just adorable." Liam stayed calm. "Nice to meet you too." The woman next to Daniel giggled nervously. "He looks familiar somehow." Daniel smirked. "Sure, maybe you saw him begging on Main Street." Olivia frowned. "Let's just go?" But Liam put a hand on hers. "No need," he said softly. "Let's enjoy the evening." They found a table, quietly sitting together. Daniel and his date ended up at a nearby table by coincidence, or maybe fate. Daniel continued his little jokes, loud enough for Olivia to hear. "So Liam, what do you do for work? Begging full-time?" Olivia rolled her eyes. "Enough." Liam chuckled. "Actually, I manage a few properties." Daniel laughed, a forced, loud laugh. "Oh really? Under bridges?" "Something like that," Liam said lightly, shrugging. Dinner was served. Liam helped Olivia with her chair, poured her water, and treated her with calm elegance. People around started noticing. The homeless man had manners far better than many guests. At one point, a waiter spilled wine accidentally near Liam's table. He waved it off. "Don't worry about it," he said politely. Another waiter froze, whispering, "Mr. Hayes?" Liam nodded. "Yes." The first waiter gasped. You're one of the owners of the Grand Hayes Hotels." Silence fell. People turned to stare. Olivia's fork paused midair. Daniel's smile faded. The woman next to Daniel almost dropped her glass. Liam simply smiled. "So much for a quiet night." Daniel stammered. You own hotels?" Liam shrugged lightly. "A few. Nothing fancy." The manager approached. "Mr. Hayes, we're honored to have you. Please, allow us to send a bottle of our finest champagne on the house." Daniel turned white. Olivia blinked, surprised. The manager smiled at Olivia. "Mrs. Hayes, a pleasure." Olivia whispered, "Oh, thank you." The manager looked at Daniel. "And you are?" Daniel mumbled, "Just a guest." The evening turned into subtle chaos. Every staff member treated Liam and Olivia with attention. Daniel shrank at his table. His date whispered to him, "You might want another drink. You look poor." Olivia tried not to laugh. Liam's calm smile met hers, and they both chuckled quietly. Later, outside the hotel, Liam opened the door of a black luxury car. The driver held it for Olivia. "Good night, Mrs. Hayes," he said respectfully. Daniel, walking past, still in shock, muttered under his breath. I should have never let her go. Liam gave him a polite nod. Drive safe. As the car drove away, Olivia leaned her head on Liam's shoulder. I should be mad you didn't tell me, she said softly. But I'm proud instead. Liam chuckled, looking at the city lights. Maybe now you'll believe me when I say you belong anywhere. Later, back at the mansion, Liam led her through the marble hallway, bright lights reflecting off polished floors. This is where you live, Olivia whispered. He nodded. Welcome home, Mrs. Hayes. Olivia laughed. Stop calling me that. It's supposed to be fake. Maybe it doesn't have to be, he said. Olivia didn't say no. She only smiled. The next morning, Olivia woke up in a soft, luxurious bed she had never seen before. White sheets, big pillows, a view of the garden with fountains and flowers. The smell of fresh coffee filled the room. For a few seconds, she forgot where she was, until she saw Liam standing by the window, dressed in a crisp white shirt, sleeves rolled up, and black trousers. His hair neatly combed, clean-shaven, strong muscular frame visible even through the shirt. Morning, he said calmly. She blinked. Wait, this is your house. Like all of it? He smiled. Just one of them. You're unbelievable, she said, shaking her head. I told you, he said, walking closer. I help people. Yeah, right, she said with a small laugh. By owning hotels and hiding under cafe windows. He handed her a coffee cup. You make it sound strange. Because it is, she said, laughing again. For the next few days, everything felt unreal. Olivia stayed at the mansion. Liam showed her the gardens, the big kitchen, the swimming pool that mirrored the sky. She couldn't stop smiling. It feels like a movie. He looked at her. Then I guess I'm the luckiest actor in the world. A few days later, they decided to visit a small cafe near the park, just to have a normal day. Liam wore simple jeans and a t-shirt again, nothing fancy. Olivia loved seeing him this way. They laughed over pancakes when suddenly a familiar voice interrupted. Well, look who it is. Olivia turned. Daniel. Again. And beside him, the same woman, now wearing an expensive cocktail dress and glaring at Olivia. Oh, Olivia said calmly. Daniel. What a surprise. He forced a smile. Yeah, small world. The woman beside him smirked. I remember you. The little waitress who married a millionaire. Lucky girl. Olivia raised an eyebrow. At least I didn't steal anyone else's fiancé. Daniel cleared his throat. We don't need drama, okay? I just... Apologize, Liam said softly. Daniel's eyes widened. Of course. Anything. Liam leaned casually, smiling. Actually, I'm opening a new hotel downtown. I need someone to manage the parking lot. Daniel perked up. The parking lot. Liam nodded seriously. You said you're good at handling cars, right? Since you drove your last relationship into a ditch. Olivia burst out laughing. Some people at nearby tables noticed. Daniel turned red. You think this is funny? Liam smirked. A little. The woman next to Daniel stood up, grabbed her purse, and stormed out. Daniel watched, frozen. Olivia leaned closer. Looks like you lost your manager and your date. Liam grinned. Tough business, huh? Later, he decided it was time to show Olivia more of his life. They drove in a sleek black car to his mansion. The gates opened automatically. Inside, crystal chandeliers sparkled in the grand hall, marble floors reflected their feet, and paintings lined the walls. She gasped. This is incredible. He walked beside her. Welcome to my world. Not everyone sees it. Olivia's eyes went wide as she looked around. The library, the wine cellar, the pool, the home theater. Everything was polished and luxurious. You live like this? She whispered. Yes, he said simply. And I wanted you to see it. In the evening, a few of his trusted employees, who knew about his double life, appeared quietly to help with some arrangements. Lights, flowers, and a small dinner in the garden. Liam introduced them briefly, keeping it casual. Olivia smiled. You have underlings? Helpers, he corrected with a grin. They like to assist me secretly. That night, while walking through the garden under the string lights, Olivia laughed. It's like a fairy tale. Exactly, Liam said, holding her hand. But it's real, now. A few days later, they returned to the cafe near the park. Daniel and his woman appeared again, thinking Olivia would be intimidated. Daniel smirked. I see you're still living the simple life. Liam smiled, calm and collected. Actually, I just came back from a meeting. You might want to check the news. My new hotel opens downtown next month. I own 5 properties in the city. Daniel's jaw dropped. His date gasped. Liam added casually. And yes, I'm the same man you saw begging under a cafe window a few weeks ago. The couple froze, speechless. A few cafe patrons noticed, whispering among themselves. Olivia laughed quietly, shaking her head. You really know how to make an impression. Liam winked. Sometimes, actions speak louder than words. Daniel muttered something under his breath and quickly walked away, dragging his date with him. Olivia leaned her head on Liam's shoulder. You didn't have to show off. I had to, he said softly. You deserve to see all of me. That evening, back at the mansion, Liam poured wine into crystal glasses and smiled. To new beginnings, he said. Olivia raised her glass. To honesty, surprises, and karma. They laughed, the sound echoing through the grand hall. Outside, city lights twinkled, reflecting in the swimming pool. Daniel's expensive car was seen speeding down the street, still wet from an accidental sprinkler Liam had triggered earlier. Liam chuckled. Karma has a good sense of humor. Olivia laughed along. You planned that, didn't you? Maybe, he replied. Maybe a little. That night, they sat together in the garden, surrounded by flowers and lights. No cameras, no fancy events. Just them. From a fake marriage to this, Olivia whispered. Liam kissed her forehead. I only wanted someone who would love me for nothing. And I found everything. The morning sun spilled golden light through the tall windows of Liam's mansion. Olivia stretched on the soft, oversized couch, still half asleep, and smiled at the warmth filling the room. Liam was already up, in simple jeans and a gray t-shirt, making coffee in the sleek kitchen. Good morning, she said softly. Morning, he replied, handing her a cup. Sleep well? Better than ever, she said, taking a sip and looking around. The house felt alive, but not cold. It had personality, humor, and warmth, especially when Liam was around. After breakfast, Liam suggested they explore a few areas of the mansion she hadn't seen yet. They started with the library, walls lined with towering bookshelves, and a spiral staircase in the corner. Liam ran his fingers along the spines of old books, smiling. You read a lot, Olivia said, impressed. Only the ones that matter, he teased. Some are about business, some about adventure, some about people. She laughed. I think you could spend a lifetime in here and never get bored. Maybe I will, he said, brushing a strand of her hair behind her ear. Next, they went to the music room. Liam played the grand piano, his fingers moving confidently across the keys. Olivia watched, captivated. I didn't know you could play, she said. I'm full of surprises, he replied with a smirk. A sudden loud crash came from the kitchen. Both of them froze, then ran to see what had happened. One of the mansion's cats had jumped onto a counter and knocked over a vase. Olivia laughed uncontrollably, while Liam simply shook his head. I swear, they plan these things, he said, picking up the vase. You're enjoying this way too much, she said, giggling. After that, Liam decided to show her the private garden behind the mansion. The pathway was lined with lanterns and roses, petals scattered across the ground. A small fountain gurgled softly nearby. Wow, Olivia breathed. This is magical. I thought you'd like it, he said. We can have breakfast here sometimes, or dinner, or just sit and talk. They walked along the stone path, the sunlight catching the droplets on the flowers from the early morning sprinklers. Olivia's laughter echoed through the garden as she twirled to avoid stepping on a stray rose petal. Liam caught her hand, smiling at the way she moved. Be careful, he said softly. You're going to make me fall in love with you all over again. She laughed, pretending to be offended. Don't flatter yourself. Later that day, Liam suggested a small drive around the city. Olivia sat in the passenger seat of a sleek black car, enjoying the breeze and the feeling of freedom. Liam drove casually, joking about traffic, city sights, and even giving impromptu tours of his properties, though he carefully left out the most luxurious ones. They stopped at a small hill overlooking the city skyline. Liam got out first, then offered his hand to Olivia as she stepped down from the car. Together, they leaned against the railing, looking at the sunset. This view, it never gets old, she whispered. No, he agreed. Some things are better when shared. That evening, Liam invited Olivia to cook dinner with him in the mansion's kitchen. She wore a simple apron over her casual dress, while Liam rolled up his sleeves, showing his muscular arms. I hope you know what you're doing, she said, holding a chopping knife. I hope you do too, he replied, grinning. Flour flew in small clouds, and a small tomato nearly hit Liam in the face. They laughed uncontrollably, and Olivia accidentally tripped, spilling water onto the floor. Liam caught her, steadying her with a firm, yet gentle hold. You're impossible, she said, laughing and blushing. And yet, still charming, he countered. After dinner, they moved to the terrace. Liam had arranged candles and fairy lights around a small table. They sat together, sipping wine and watching the stars appear in the night sky. The city lights twinkled below, mirrored by the soft glow of the candles. You really know how to make ordinary moments feel extraordinary, Olivia said softly. It's easy, Liam replied. I have the right person to share them with. She leaned against his shoulder, feeling the warmth of his body. I never imagined life could feel like this. Neither did I, he said quietly. Suddenly, one of the mansion's automated sprinklers turned on accidentally, spraying water toward the terrace. Olivia squealed and jumped, while Liam quickly grabbed a large umbrella and held it over them both. They both laughed, dripping wet and smiling under the soft rain. You planned that, didn't you? She asked, still laughing. Maybe just a little, he admitted, grinning. Later, while drying off, Liam showed Olivia his private art collection. Large paintings, sculptures, and photographs decorated the walls and halls. Each piece had a story, and Liam shared them one by one, his voice calm and engaging. You really live in a world I never knew existed, Olivia said, amazed. And now you do, he said, offering her his hand. The evening ended with Liam and Olivia sitting in the mansion's library, a soft fire crackling in the fireplace. They talked about everything, past, dreams, simple joys. The world outside seemed distant and unimportant. Olivia yawned, leaning against him. I could get used to this, she murmured. You already have, he replied softly, brushing her hair from her face. They stayed together late into the night, the mansion silent except for the soft sounds of the fire and their quiet laughter. For the first time, Olivia felt completely at ease, surrounded not by wealth or grandeur, but by warmth, humor, and the man she had come to trust completely. The next morning promised another day of surprises, laughter, and discoveries. But for now, they simply enjoyed being together, letting the world outside continue on its ordinary path, while their extraordinary life unfolded quietly, beautifully, and fully. The morning sun poured through the tall windows of the mansion, painting golden streaks across the marble floors. Olivia woke to the soft rustle of silk sheets and the smell of fresh roses. Today was no ordinary day. Today, the fake marriage would become real. Liam was already awake, standing by the balcony in a crisp black suit, perfectly tailored to his broad, muscular frame. His hair was neatly combed, eyes sharp and bright. He looked at the city skyline for a moment, then turned to see Olivia stretching and smiling at him. You look breathtaking, he said softly, his voice low and deep, carrying warmth and longing. Olivia blushed, tugging her wedding gown over her shoulders, the fabric hugging her delicate frame perfectly. Her hair fell in soft waves around her face, a simple veil completing the look. You're not so bad yourself, she said, teasing, but her eyes sparkled with anticipation and something more, desire, excitement, and a flutter of nerves. The mansion staff, quietly bustling in the background, had decorated the garden overnight. Lanterns hung from trees, petals lined the stone pathway, and soft music floated through the air. Everything shimmered under the early morning sun, yet it didn't feel overwhelming. It felt intimate, personal, magical. Liam took Olivia's hand, guiding her through the garden. The gentle squeeze of his fingers sent warmth through her body, making her pulse quicken. Every step felt electric. Every glance between them charged the air with unspoken passion. They arrived at the small fountain where the ceremony would be held. Friends from the cafe, family, and a few close neighbors had gathered. There were no cameras, no pomp, just love, smiles, and eyes glistening with happiness. The officiant cleared his throat. We are gathered here today to witness the union of Liam Hayes and Olivia. Olivia's heart skipped when he added, Olivia Hayes. Her gaze met Liam's. His eyes burned with intensity, with love and desire and certainty. The world seemed to shrink to the space between them. Do you, Liam, take Olivia to be your wife, your partner, your equal, for all the days of your life? The officiant asked. I do, Liam said, his voice strong, unwavering, yet soft enough to send shivers down Olivia's spine. And do you, Olivia, take Liam to be your husband, your confidant, your love, for all the days of your life? I do, she whispered, her voice trembling slightly, heart racing with passion and joy. The officiant smiled. Then, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Liam pulled her into his arms immediately, their lips meeting in a kiss that was tender, urgent, and filled with everything they had held back: longing, hope, and desire. Olivia melted into him, her arms wrapping around his neck as the garden erupted in cheers and applause. They pulled back slightly, foreheads touching. Liam's eyes were dark and deep, full of passion. You have no idea how long I've waited for this moment, he murmured. Olivia's breath caught. Neither have I, but I knew it would be worth it. After the ceremony, they walked hand in hand through the garden, laughing, teasing, and stealing quick, lingering kisses. Every touch, every glance, radiated a fiery connection. Even in the presence of family and friends, it felt as if the world belonged only to them. Later, under the twinkling lights of the mansion's terrace, Liam took Olivia's hand again. I want tonight to be perfect, he said, eyes glinting with mischief and longing. She raised an eyebrow. Perfect? And what does perfect mean to you? He leaned in, voice low and husky. Perfect means you, me, and no distractions. Perfect means laughter, teasing, dancing, and maybe a little chaos. Olivia laughed, heart pounding. Chaos, huh? Just a little, he admitted, pulling her close. Their bodies pressed together as he spun her into a slow dance. The soft music played, their movements perfectly synchronized, as if their hearts had always known this rhythm. Time seemed to pause. Every glance, every brush of fingers, every gentle pull of lips against lips ignited a fire that neither wanted to extinguish. The mansion around them glowed, but their world was only each other. Later, Liam led her to the grand terrace overlooking the city. The lights sparkled like stars, reflecting in the pool below. He held her close, lips brushing her ear. I've dreamed of this life, he murmured, but never imagined it could feel like this. Real, passionate, messy, perfect. Olivia pressed against him, feeling his heartbeat align with hers. I never thought I could be this happy, or this alive. Alive, he repeated, eyes darkening with desire. And I'm just getting started. They laughed, a soft, shared sound, before Liam lifted her into his arms effortlessly. She wrapped her legs around his waist, their kiss deepening, filled with the promise of a lifetime together. Evening fell, the sky painted in purples and oranges. Liam led Olivia to the mansion's infinity pool, decorated with floating candles and flowers. They sat at the edge, legs dangling in the water, sharing wine and stories, their laughter echoing into the night. You know, Olivia said, leaning her head on his shoulder, this feels like a dream I never want to wake up from. Liam kissed the top of her head. Then don't. Stay here, with me, forever. Hours passed like minutes. They danced, they laughed, they kissed. Every glance carried passion, every touch spoke of intimacy and desire. Liam's world, the wealth, the grandeur, the secret life, was nothing without her. Finally, as the stars shone above, Liam held Olivia close on a soft lounge chair, their bodies intertwined, hearts beating together. I love you, he whispered, voice full of fire and sincerity. I love you too, she replied, trembling, her hands clutching his shirt. For the first time, there was no pretense, no disguises. No secret lives, no fake marriages. Just them, burning with passion, bound by love, and ready to face everything together. The night ended with the soft glow of lanterns, the city lights sparkling below, and two souls completely united. From a man who had once hidden behind rags and shadows, to a millionaire with a heart full of desire, Liam had found the one thing he truly wanted, Olivia. And she, from a simple waitress with a kind heart, had found her own fairy tale, fiery, passionate, and real. Hand in hand, they looked out at the world, their world, knowing that together, they could face anything, laugh through anything, and love through everything. The mansion, the garden, the city lights, all shimmered with promise. Tonight, and every night after, was theirs.